Hello everybody, hope you guys are doing absolutely wonderful today. And in today's video I want to show you guys the best guide to get yourself all the way up to World 3 without even taking too much time. Me personally, I've been playing the game for about 31 hours, kind of inconsistently, but I'm already at level 3. As you guys can see, I'm already level 110. So I want to give you guys a few tips and tricks on how I was able to level up so quickly. So one definitely important thing is just getting through World 1. Just do your quest, do the easy and simple things. Once you finish like the entire Moro quest line, you're already going to have enough XP to get to level 10, which will eventually unlock the portal, and it will eventually unlock World 2. As you can see, you have to complete the quest of the end beginning, and then you have to reach level 10. So once you do that, you get to go to World 2. World 2 is a lot harder to get out of than World 1, obviously, but that's by design. So one thing you definitely want to do is you want to look at these pickaxes. You definitely want to get some of them, and you definitely just want to get these pickaxes in general. You want to complete the quest lines from Moro. You want to complete the quest lines from the blacksmith over here, Barakuf. He gives you daily quests, if I remember correctly. So you can just do these every once in a while to get your XP up. That's a good way to get XP. There's a goblin quest over there. If you guys didn't see my last short on how to rescue the cat, so that's a decent amount of XP you can get too. And yeah, stuff like that. So when you get to the caves, you guys might be wondering, oh, it's kind of hard to get XP. What's the best way to do it? So you definitely want to kill things. Killing things gives you a really decent amount of XP. 39 might not seem really high right now, but when you're starting the game out, that's really good. So you want to help the masked stranger. You want to do the Isaac quest. You want to do Captain Rorin's quest line, and you'll get a lot of good stuff for it. So that's one way to do it. And one thing I strongly suggest is AFK farming. So for example, as you guys can see here, right here, there are two craters. I'm going to break them with my pickaxe, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an auto clicker, and I'm going to leave an auto clicker down right here. The reason I'm leaving an auto clicker down right here is because eventually those two ores will regenerate, and eventually I will break them again. So that's going to cause like an infinite cycle of me constantly grinding out the ores without actually being here. That's one really good way to level up, and eventually when you max out your sack, you can craft it into different types of chest plates and eventually level up. Get the XP you need to put yourself in a better position. So I'm not sure why these don't respawn, but I do know there are some other ones that should respawn almost immediately when you break them. So yep. Once you grind those out enough and you eventually are done with basalt rock, eventually you'll get a pickaxe and you'll be able to move up to basalt core. Now with that being said, once you're able to mine basalt core, I recommend you come all the way up here, and I recommend you AFK right here. After you kill the bomber, you AFK right here. Now I say AFK right here because the things spawn back right here. You're hitting two at once, and that way you're able to generate so much gold, or I mean not gold, coins, because you're going to be getting a lot of materials. With the sack upgrades, you'll be able to store a lot of those materials. Once you're done AFKing, you can run yourself back to the forge and you can forge up some stuff. As you guys can see, these things regenerate pretty quickly, so you can just keep on mining them, and just like that you'll get so much stuff. And eventually when you level up your pickaxe all the way to a better pickaxe, you can do the same thing over here. So when you're in this situation, I recommend you really just AFK mine these for as long as you can. Leave your stuff on, and eventually you'll level yourself all the way up to level 70. I do recommend you do the quest lines and all that stuff, but if I'm being honest, this is the most efficient and fastest way to level up without doing anything really, because you're just leaving an auto clicker here and just grinding out through that. So, you know, you can do all these other quest lines, you can do these elite threats, you can do everything else, but you don't necessarily have to. But it's a good way to level up and get XP along with coins. So let's say you do all that, you're doing great, and eventually you make your way all the way to level 3. Well, you've made it. You're at level 3, and level 3 is exactly where you want to be. Level 3, me personally, I don't have too much experience in level 3, but I am a decent little ways myself. So I do want to show you guys some things that I've learned in level 3. So once you go to Frost Expanse, then you'll be able to get everything. But this game is really simple. It's not much harder than you gotta imagine it to be. You just gotta, it's really just a lot of AFKing. You don't have to do much yourself, but you can definitely do a decent amount of AFKing. So as I was telling you guys, let's say you filled up your sack and you have a lot of weak ores. For example, in this world, tungsten is about the weakest ore you'll get. What you want to do is you want to fill the forge up to about 35 of tungsten. And once you do that, 35, you'll go over to armor. And as you guys can see, there's a 60% chance to get a heavy chest plate, a 30% chance to get a heavy leggings, an 8% chance to get a heavy helmet, and a 2% chance to get a medium chest plate. You almost will never get a medium chest plate. Heavy helmet, extremely unlikely. Heavy leggings, you might get a few, but heavy chest plate is the most likely thing to happen here. As you guys can see, I got a heavy chest plate. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try my best to get as many perfects and good grades on it, as the quality of the chest piece or whatever armor you get directly affects how much it'll sell for, how good it'll be, and things of that nature. I have the Quick Forge Game Pass, so that's why I'm able to just skip towards the hammering part. But for everybody else, you're going to have to power through it and all that good stuff. And yeah. So, with that being said, once you get it, you go over to Woo, you sell the item. The item's going to sell for a decent little bit. And just like that, you get money. Eventually, you go buy the pickaxes. And yeah, another important thing I also do want to add is, if you ever get the Goblin Race, absolutely hold on to it. The Goblin Race is one of, if not the better, perks in this game as a whole. And I'll show you why. Goblin. Tiny, minus 15 HP, minus 15 size, that sucks. But now you have Sneaky, plus 15% movement speed, and plus 10% attack speed with daggers. That's decent, that's whatever. But here comes the really good thing. Bargain. 12% discount when shopping. So, let me show you guys with the Goblin Race. You come over here and look at the tungsten pickaxe. It says the tungsten pickaxe costs 200,000 coins, but when you go over to the purchase prompt, it's 176,000. It's that much cheaper because of that. And with that being said, same thing with the aqua pickaxe, it's a lot cheaper. So, one nifty little detail too, pickaxes sell for a lot, like a lot. So typically, before you ever go out and buy yourself a new pickaxe, you want to sell your old pickaxe so you can have enough. Only sell your old pickaxe when that's the rest of the money you need to finally put yourself over that hump and give you the money to buy the new pickaxe. For example, if I were to sell my pickaxe right now, 281,250, I would be able to sell my pickaxe, and then I would be able to buy this pickaxe at its discounted price. So yeah, some other things I do want to also let you guys know is what's the better spots to mine at in the spider cave too. So unfortunately, there aren't any really good spots to mine at that you can do double mining at because of the monsters everywhere. The monsters are set up in a position where you can't really double mine without getting completely or constantly attacked. You can try here, but I believe it's inconsistent and the things don't always respawn as you want them to. But if they do, that's a nice little spot right there. But yeah, once you get everything and you get this aqua pickaxe, You eventually want to work your way through this tunnel, and you eventually want to get over here where you have the icy boulders. One thing about these icy boulders that is really good is they respawn all the time and there's no enemies to interrupt you. So you can just AFK here and infinitely level up. So you can do that for as long as you see fit, and as long as you keep on doing it, you'll put yourself in a better position to just complete the game, get everything you need, unlock new recipes, and as the new update drops tomorrow, you guys can see how to best level up, and do great things. So yeah, I feel like that's about it. This was kind of like a really quick speed ran guide, teaching you guys how to get all the way from World 1 to World 2 to all the way to even World 3, and eventually level up heavily through this icy boulder method. So yep, just in case you guys were a little bit suspicious about it too, you can just drop an auto clicker right here. It is a little inconsistent because the boulders typically move or they get smaller and you have to readjust your camera angle, but even still, it's hardly an issue. So you can just focus in, leave an auto clicker here, do whatever else you want to do, play a different game, do something else, maybe even go out, get groceries or something. Just do something else while you wait for the game to play itself. And yeah, it's really easy, it's really simple, and it's, in my opinion, because I haven't made it too far. As you guys can see, I'm level 110, not level 200 like everybody else. In my opinion, one of the easier ways to grind XP and materials to eventually forge and sell. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's pretty simple and maybe information you guys already knew, but if it does help you, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys later.